Ready, we'll start. Let's start now.
Okay.
Welcome to Subject Matter.
Okay, subject matter. How's it going, guys? Joseph Moore, independent author here.
Mike, subject matter. So I think we're gonna talk about some international issue today. So I'm excited about it.
Yes.
Jaywalk Walker from Jerome Walker from the Jaywalk podcast, and I guess we're ready to talk about some international politics.
Yes.
We can throw in some other stuff. All right, as our producer just stepped out for a bit, so we know enough of the issues where we can just go ahead. If you don't mind, I'll just go just real quick. All right, so a lot of people who follow, if you follow any little bit of the news, you know what's going on between Israel and, of course, and Iran. It is a war. People keep saying skirmish, or it is a war because they're both flinging drones and missiles at each other. There are over 300 civilians killed on the Iranian side, and something like approaching 30 people killed in Israel.
Yes.
So there's about 10 times as many people killed on the Iranian side. And of course, and whether or not Trump, because he's so hateful, and he didn't want to have anything to do with Barack Obama, with the deal, the 2015 deal with as far as trying to keep Iran from getting the nuclear weapons. The nuclear grades for like nuclear energy was okay under the JCP or what JC was, I forgot it's called, but the Iran nuclear deal in 2015 under Barack Obama.
Yeah.
But then Trump didn't want to have anything to do with that, so that's part of the reason why he scuttled it. But now a lot of experts are saying he could have used that framework, the 2015 framework, for right now to put pressure on Iran. But now Iran is like fuck it, we might as well have a nuclear weapon. And because and I did nothing deep search, I just did like a Google search. I have it on. If you go to my TikTok feed, it's Sci-Fi Guy, and I have a post where and I asked, and I already knew this, but I just wanted some literature on it to back up what I was thinking. That no nation that has nuclear weapons has ever been invaded. Not a single nation. So Ukraine used to have weapons, but they did I think that may have been the Minsk deal a long time ago, where they got rid of their weapons.
That's right.
And guess what happened? Yeah. Okay. And thank you. And guess what happened? Russia invaded Ukraine. So through the years, any country I barely like nuclear energy. Because of obviously the potential. We've had several fallouts now, but the energy, obviously you can go last for thousands of years for just a little. But what do you do with waste? I don't really like the energy, much less nuclear weapons. However, when you have certain powers, superpowers, people like Donald Trump and other nations such as Russia that threaten to or actually do invade you. Having a nuclear weapon is 100% guaranteed. All right, Mike, I'm going to throw it to you.
I agree actually. Joseph, you explained the issue very, very well actually. So, but we got to put everything in perspective. As far as atomic bomb or hydrogen bomb, I really don't think that we've great number of countries having this bomb, and that's enough. Like 8 or 9 or 11, I think, I don't remember exactly. But what I think about the Israeli-Iran war is Israel, of course, started the war, but here is the thing. The irony is, if, for instance, the Israelis, they have like 80 up to 400, atomic bombs, maybe hydrogen bomb, including hydrogen bomb. But the funny thing is that they are telling their neighbors, it's like a bad boy telling his neighborhood that he can't have a knife except me or something. So I don't think it's the right thing to do that Israel, what Israel is doing right now. just for the reason that does Israel have, the moral ground to tell the other countries not to have nuclear bomb while she has one? That's one thing. And the other thing is, as far as Iran is concerned, the fact is the IAEA, even the 2015 agreement, is no more, in process. No more in process. The IAEA is still in Iran. They are still checking everything. So what Iran says is it's just for peaceful energy purposes, not.
Can I ask you? Do you believe that? Do you think it's only energy purposes? Or do you think, what I heard and read is that they're up to like 60% as far as like their capacity to, and it takes something like 90% for the nuclear.
For the uranium to be reached.
Right, exactly. So they can, to where they're able, you don't have to get 100%. You just need to get to 90% and you can make nukes. So what do you think that do you think behind the scenes that they actually have a nuclear weapons program and they're just not telling us? What do you think?
Well, what I think is one thing, but the fact is, even the CIA director or the intelligence director of the United States, what she was saying,
DNI.
What she was saying was there was no indication showing that Iran is trying to get the atomic bomb. And Donald Trump, of course, right away he disagreed with her.
Tulsi Gabbard. You're talking Tulsi Gabbard.
That's right. That's right. So that's one thing. Because my opinion, it just doesn't matter one way or the other. But what matters is facts. And then the same thing, the IAEA is telling the whole world that there is nothing showing that Iran is trying to get, the nuclear bomb. Because to get the nuclear bomb, it's not just the uranium to be enriched to 90% or 100%. There are other components to be assembled.
Right, that's true.
So
delivery mechanism, yada yada.
Well, delivery mechanism,
as in missiles.
They have already. Actually, the Iranians, they are smart enough.
Oh, yeah.
That they have.
Well, and remember, look at the bombings they've been doing to Israel. They hit Haifa recently for the first time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't at first. It started. It was just as the usual suspects. What I mean by that is Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
Yes.
But now they even hit Haifa.
Haifa, yes.
And causing serious damage.
Yes.
So and kind of like with Vladimir Putin, when he thought it was going to be only 3 weeks, maybe 3 months for Ukraine. And now he's seeing that here we are over 3 years later.
Yeah.
Not as simple as he thought. I think the Israelis are going to see it's not as easy as they think it is to go to war with Iran. My personal opinion.
That's true. Here is when you get into war, this kind of war, you have to put all the calculations, in your math. For instance, Iran population-wise 80 million, while the Israeli like 10 million.
Oh my goodness! No comparison.
Land-wise,
Tehran is bigger than the entire nation of Israel.
That's true.
One city.
But the Israelis or Netanyahu is arrogant enough to start this war without having a true calculation, because his calculation is, by the way, one thing is for sure, Mossad is, I think, the best intelligence agency in the world, no doubt. Without Mossad, I think the Israelis, as far as technology, they don't have much more or much modernized technology than Iran. They might have a little bit advantage, but not that much. But the Mossad, you got to admire it. I mean, you can't
and to those who don't know, the Mossad is their like CIA.
Yes.
Kind of like their CIA.
Yes.
Or
Over the years,
MI6 or whatever.
Yeah, for instance, as you can see on this war, the first day, the first day, what they call it the rising lion or something. The first day they killed so many generals, the leader of the Republican Guard and all those top atomic scientists, atomic bomb scientists.
They killed like 2 more, I think, at least 2 more yesterday.
They did.
Yeah, 2 or 3 more. Yeah.
What I'm surprised here is the intelligence agency. What they do is everybody was wondering, are these are those agents like Israelis or are they Iranians or what? But we got the answer already. They are Iranians. That means Mossad spends so much money to recruit, agents all over the world. If I'm Egyptians or any neighbor, any Arabic countries, neighbors to Israel, I would be worried. Yeah. You see what I mean? Because even one official from Mossad, I think it could be the Mossad director probably, he was saying Mossad is like a ghost. It's everywhere. Well, I believe it. It's true.
I
mean,
agree.
that's true. So we can continue. Let's give it the chance.
No, because and it helps that you're from overseas and you're from that area. So I wanted to get your opinion on that.
We'll go even deeper. Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know what imperialism is?
What's that?
You know what imperialism is?
Well, of course.
Right? Why is it so dangerous for Iran to have nuclear weapons? The United States has hundreds.
Thousands.
Excuse me, 8,000.
Yeah, like 8,000.
Why is it so dangerous if they just get one? Why hasn't the United States invaded North Korea yet then?
Because they have nukes.
Is that so basically, because all Israel is the United States in the Middle East. That's all they are. That's all Israel is. And I get they have the right to protect themselves or stuff like that, whatever, but I don't see why the United States is always so worried about certain brown countries or black countries that get nuclear weapons. So to me, this is just, I don't buy into the whole thing that Israel is always right, because they're not, especially in Palestine. All they are is they're just a little flunky for the United States and America. That's the only reason why Israel's there. So the United States can have some kind of, for lack of a better word, control or some kind of presence in the Middle East. That's all they're there for. All they do is the bidding of the United States. So that's my opinion.
Yes.
So if Israel and Iran want to go to war, by all means they should, but the United States can just sit their asses out of it this time.
I want to ask you this specifically, Jerome, and it helped, I think, in context for some of the viewers who may not seen you before. Long story short, I was with the Democratic Party. I left 3 times. I left again just because I was upset with the Gaza situation. But I caucused with the Democrats, so I'm like Bernie Sanders that way. So I'm a progressive. You are not, though. But I'm asking you this for a reason, Jerome, because you left the Republican Party. But you see how there's that rift, the faction within the Republican Party. There's the old guard, kind of the old school, more imperialistic Republicans, if you will. They used to call them neocons back 20 years ago. Wanting more of an imperialistic United States to go into wars in different countries, helping the kind of Cold War warriors. Yes, they're the types to support United States going to war in Afghanistan and Iraq and other situations. Now, with kind of the splinter these days, with under the Trump administration, it seems to be factionalizing between kind of your Marjorie Taylor Greenes, kind of your Tucker Carlsons. They're more the isolationists, and then you got your old school neocons, like your Lindsey Graham, senator of I forgot which, North Carolina, right? And they're more of like old school. Yes, we should invade using per. So, what do you personally think about that? Do you see that rift between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson? So I want to hear, since you're from that side of the politics, I'm a lefty, so it's interesting. I want to hear your point about that. What do you think about that?
Like what I think about
the rift, the factionalization of whether or not America should go to war with against Iran on behalf of Israel.
I never thought I'd agree with Tucker Carlson, but that's how you know this world is coming to an end. I guess, if I had to put a label on it, I guess it'd be the isolationist, because I just don't think the United States has a higher more authority to say who can have something and who can't have something. But it's always the argument with countries of color. It's never, how many times do you see the United States try to invade Russia? Russia got over like close to 1,000 themselves or something like that. Like you know what I'm saying? They don't.
Well, actually, they have more nukes than we do. They have something like 9. No, I know. I've read there's different sources. They have something like 9,000, and they have just about 1,000 more than we do.
Okay.
But all it takes is like basically
More-
what, two or three to destroy the world. Yeah.
So yeah, well, they haven't been invaded yet. Okay.
They got nukes.
Oh, right. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Pakistan, they're nuclear power. They haven't been.
So do you think that's good to see the factionalization in regards to this issue about whether or not America should go to war against Iran within the Republican Party? Because I know you're not in the party anymore, but you're still conservative, I think it's safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that's good, or does it matter to you? Do you think it makes the conservative movement look bad? What do you think about that?
I don't. After looking at these Republicans the past 10 years, I don't know this party, so I don't. I'm truly dependent now, so I'm very purple when it comes to politics. United States needs to stay its ass out this war. That's what they need to do, especially after Afghanistan and Iraq.
So let me ask you this real quick, because I've always wanted to ask. So what is your red line? What's your threshold for when America should join a war? For instance, like in World War I, there's the bombing of the list. I cannot pronounce that one ship. Those who know, and World War I, there was a boat. One of our boats, ships was bombed or something like that in World War I. And then we finally joined World War I. And then of course Pearl Harbor. The famous Pearl Harbor when we got hit in 1941. Then we joined World War II. Seems like America's always dragged in. One could say we joined late. I mean, it depends on but I mean, what's your red line? What do you think? When should we go to war? What do you think?
When we're hit directly.
But wouldn't it be too late by then?
What do you mean?
Well, like Pearl Harbor. What if we joined in World War II a lot sooner? Maybe there wouldn't have been a Pearl Harbor.
Okay, welcome to America. We always react to things late. This is America.